So in the last session, we have discussed about the object creation, how to create an object in Salesforce, and upon creating an object in Salesforce, what will happen internally by default, what kind of functionalities will be offering the Salesforce by default, we have discussed. Like that already we have discussed that whenever I'm creating a custom object in Salesforce, Salesforce is providing three layers to you, that it provides a table with a specified name. It provides a tab also, which is providing the user interfaces to manage the records inside the object. The third one, it is providing the business logic also in terms of a class. And along with that, inside the table, it provides the five fields by default, which are called as the standard fields, like the ID field, name field, owner, created by, and the last modified by. So these are the five fields will be offered by Salesforce automatically by default. Now, so in the last session, we have discussed how to create an object here. Now, let's go with the second scenario. So sometimes the client will raise a request that he need an object without any tab. Okay, he need an object without any tab. Then how can we create an object without any tab? Okay, now let's see practically over here. Now, so let's take a small scenario. Take a use case. Create a custom object. Create a custom object position without any tab. So we don't want the tab over here. Okay, don't want the tab. Just I want the object, nothing but the table itself here. Now, so now here in this case here, how to create the object without any tab. That already we have discussed that whenever we are creating an object, there is a checkbox called as launch a new custom tab wizard. Launch a new custom tab wizard after creating the custom object. After creating the custom object. So there is a checkbox is available over here. There is a checkbox. So now this checkbox will decide whether tab has to be created or not. So in this case, whenever we are going to be creating the object, if you don't want the tab, then unselect this checkbox over here. Okay, unselect this checkbox. At that time, the object will be created for you, but the tab will not be created. Only the table and the business logic will be getting created for you. Okay, only the table and business logic. Now, so then how can we create an object without the tab? Now let's see practically in this case. So let's go to the Salesforce instance. As of now, we have created the custom object with the name customer. Now I want to create an object with the name position. So let's go with that navigation same. So go to that setup menu. Go to the setup menu. And then go to the build menu in the left panel. Okay, go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on create. Okay, click on create. Inside that, select the option as objects. Select the option as object. So because I would like to create an object over here. Okay, I would like to create an object. I would like to create an object. So click on object. So as of now, we have created only one object, that is customer. Now I would like to create one more object, so that use that button, new custom object. So I'm providing the required details for my object over here. Okay, I'm providing the required details for my object. I'm giving that object name as singular label as position, plural label positions. Okay, I've given that information, the object name and the tab name, both we have to provide. Now I'm giving the description. This object is used to store all the open opportunities or jobs information inside the organization. Available in the organization. So I would like to give some description about this object. Like this object is used to store all the open opportunities or all the jobs information I would like to store inside that. So now for that one, it is going to be, I am giving that description over here. Next, you know that remaining 4 options. I would like to select the allow reports and then allow activities and the track field history and the allow in chat groups. I'm selecting these 4 options. Next, go to the deployment settings section. Here you will be having these options are available in development, in the deployed. Already we have discussed each and every point. Now this is already in the deployed option over here. Now, so let's come to that object creation options section. In this one, whenever I'm going to be creating a new position object, so upon creating some records inside this object, I want to add some job description also. Like for example, assume that I'm storing one job information, nothing but there is an open position inside my organization. Like as some Java developer or some SFDC administrator, there is an open position is available. So now I would like to store some position information inside my object here. And at that time, along with the position details, I would like to add an attachment also. Because my client has given some job description in terms of a PDF format, that PDF format I would like to add as an attachment along with each and every position record. So for that one, I want the no attachment option also. So that attachment option is required for me. So that I would like to select this checkbox. Okay, I'm selecting this checkbox over here. So now I want the attachment option also. But I don't want any tab. So for that one here, I'm not selecting this last checkbox. So this is the most important checkbox that I already told you. If you want the tab for this particular object, then we have to select this checkbox. If this checkbox is not selected, then tab will not be created for you. So that I'm not selecting the checkbox here. Because I don't want the tab, just I want an object here. Now click on Save button. So once you click on Save button, automatically object has been created with the specified details. So what are the details we have provided? With those details, it is creating an object over here. Now, it has created an object with the name position __ C, because the very custom object name has to be get postfixing with __ C. And then we are having the 5 fields are as usual. ID field, that is a common, and then we are having the name field, owner field, created by, and the last modified by. So these are the 5 fields have been given by Salesforce. But there is no tab for this object here. See, when you go to the tab bar, tab is not yet added as of now. Okay, tab is not provided as of now. So that here depends upon your requirement. If you want only the object, then we can able to create the object without selecting the checkbox. Launch a new custom tab wizard after creating a custom object. So if you want the tab along with that object, then we need to select that. So depends upon your requirement, we can able to create the object also by using this navigation process. Now,
Chris, what's the difference between label name and an object name? Because
okay. So label in the sense of label name is nothing but what label you want to display for that particular object over here. With the same label name, it is creating the object. Simply we can say label name and object name both are same. Okay. With that name, it will be creating the object for you. Table it will be creating for you. Okay.
the label is for the GUI. Okay.
Sorry.
The label will be used on the GUI part, means user interface. The corresponding object is nothing but the database table name.
Yeah, basically here with the same label name, nothing but label name. Just I'm giving our like as customer, but object name is what it will do for that name. Nothing but whatever the label that I have given, it will take that label name. It will be adding that underscore C automatically, because here the custom object, right? So upon creating the custom object underscore C, we no need to provide, because as a customer, as an end user, those people doesn't know how to provide that underscore C. That will be preparing the Salesforce itself automatically over here. So just it is expecting with what name you want to create the object. So it is asking you as a label. So it will be including that. For example, assume that I'm giving an object name over here. I'm giving some label over here. Like as some hiring manager, hiring space, some manager. Okay. I want to create some HR's information. HR's information I want to store inside a table. So that I'm creating a table with the name some hiring manager. As a label, I'm giving like as hiring space manager. But generally, table name should not be having any spaces. Table name should be always a single word. So in this case, as part of this Salesforce, when coming to the object, it is preparing that. Like as hiring underscore manager underscore C. It will be preparing like this here. Okay. So this is the label, just you are providing that, and that is preparing that object name directly. Because if you are giving any spaces, those spaces will be getting filled up with underscore character over here. Okay. Now, next one. So now for
One last question. What is API name then? Like,
yeah, API name is nothing but the table name. Okay, API name is nothing but the table name. Your object name or API name both are same. Because here, whenever we are going to be interacting with the table through programming, we have to use that same API name, application programming interface. Because whenever you are interacting with that object, suppose if you want to create the table records through programming, like as by using Apex programming or by using some integrations, or if you are using some third-party tools, at that time we have to use those names to recognize that object. Okay.
both object and API are one and the same then, because
Sorry?
both referencing to object name and API name will be same.
Yeah, same.
Or both.
Now, for example, so we have created an object with the name position. The object is ready. The table is ready as per my customer's request. So once the table is ready, then my client is keep on performing the operations inside this table through some tools. Like he's inserting some records, he's updating some records, he's deleting some records through some tools. Because here the client already told me, so he wanted just a table because he don't want the tab. He's having his own tool. Through the tool, he will do the operations on all the records. So he's using his own tool. The third-party tool, he is using that to insert the record into the position table, to update the record, to delete the record, all these things. So at a certain point of time, the client got realized that he wants the tab back. That means whenever they are inserting the records or updating the records or the deleting the record through the third-party tool, they're facing some problem. Initially, it worked very good, but after some time, the tool is giving some issues. They're facing some problem with the tool upon inserting the records, upon updating the records, upon deleting the records. So that they got realized that we don't want to continue with the tool to manage the records. I want that tab again. Okay, I want that tab again. So how can we get the tab for this position object over here? How can we get the tab? So upon creating the object, I haven't selected the last checkbox. Okay, we haven't selected the last checkbox. Launch a new custom tab wizard after creating a custom object. We haven't selected the tab checkbox over here. Now you can raise a question. So just you can go to that edit option here. So now we can go to the edit option. We will go back to that object settings and then we can select the checkbox here. But at that time, the checkbox will not be visible to you. Let me show you practically. So once you click on this edit button here, I would like to change that object settings. So that click on edit button. So now what are the details that were given for the object, the whole details will be available over here. And then if you want this, if you don't want this optional feature section, we can unselect these checkboxes also. But when you come down, the last section will not be available over here. Okay, the last section will not be available to you. So previously we have two checkboxes are available. One is for the notes and attachments, second one is for the tab. But this section is not available over here. Okay, that section is not available. So now here in this case, when you try to edit that object settings, then you won't get that last checkbox. So we can't select that here. Then what we can do in this case? So now here in this case here, we need to create the tab separately for your object. Okay, we need to create the tab separately for your object over here. Then how can we create the tab for my object? Now let's see practically over here. Now, so let's see how to create the tabs. Creating the tabs. Then what do you mean by tab basically? That already we have discussed that when coming to the tab provides a graphical user interface. Okay, tab provides the various graphical user interfaces which are used to perform all the DML operations on the object records. So that by using this tab, we can able to perform all the DML operations here. So what DML operations we can able to perform? We can insert some records into the table. We can update the records into the table. We can delete the records from the table. We can undelete the records. We can undelete the records from the in the table over here. So we can perform all these operations over here. Now, in this case, when coming to the tab provides some set of graphical user interfaces through which we can manage the records inside that object. So to insert the record, what user interfaces is required, it will provide. To update the record, what are the user interfaces are required, provided by the tab itself. To delete the records, to restore the records, what are the user interfaces are required, everything will be given by the tab itself. So now here in this case here, okay, now here in this case, when coming to that Salesforce is providing 4 types of tabs to you. Okay, Salesforce provides 4 types of tabs. Salesforce is providing 4 types of tabs. The first one is the custom object tabs. First one is custom object tabs. Second one is the web tabs. Third one is the Visualforce page tabs. And the fourth one is Lightning page tabs. So these are the 4 types of tabs are available in Salesforce. So now whenever we are having an object, okay, whenever you are having an object without any tab, okay, whenever you are having an object without any tab, for that object we have to create the tab manually. We can't select that checkbox again back. From the object settings, we can't select that checkbox over there. we have to create the tab manually by our own. Now, so in this case, whenever we are going to be creating the tab for an object, okay, whenever you are creating a tab for an object here, at that time, okay, at that time, for an object, we can have only one tab, not multiple. An object can have only one tab. That means object to tab, we are having one-to-one association. For a single object, we can't create multiple tabs. So now here in this case here, whenever we are creating the tab, for an object, we can have only one tab, not multiple. So whenever you are creating the tab for your object, we have four types of tabs are available in Salesforce. The first one is the custom object tabs. Second one is the web tabs. Third one is Visual Force page tabs. The fourth one is Lightning page tabs. So these are the four types of tabs are available when coming to a Salesforce instance over here. Now, so now let's see what exactly each and every tab type, and then we'll see how to create the tab for my object here. Now, the first one is the custom object tabs here. So what do you mean by custom object tabs here? For example, I have a custom object. Okay, I have a custom object, some position underscore C. I have a custom object, some position underscore C. Upon creating this object, I haven't selected the checkbox, launch a new custom tab wizard after creating the custom object. That means if the checkbox is not selected, object will not be created for you. So the tab will not be created for you. So that I have an object without any tab here. There is no tab for my object here. Now in this case, whatever the custom objects are available for which the tabs are not available, okay? Whatever the custom objects are available, which are not having any tabs, for those objects, if you want to create the tab in future, then we can go with an option called as custom object tabs. By using this option, we can create the tab for your custom object which are not having the tab. Why? Because is you can raise a question. Sir, already I'm having an account object. For that object, can I create one more tab? No. For your standard objects, we can't create any tabs. We can create the tabs only for the custom objects. The two, for one object, we can't create one more tab. Like for example, assume that I'm having an object called as the customer object here. For this object, already tab is available. For this customer object, when you try to create one more tab, Salesforce won't allow. Because an object can have only one tab, not multiple. So that here, when you go to that custom object tabs feature is used to create the tab for your custom object which is not having the tab as of now. If the tab is not available, then only we can create the tab for that custom object by using this option over here. Because an object can have only one tab. That means only one set of user interfaces to manage the records inside that. Now, so in this case here, at that time, if you want to create the tab for your custom object, okay, which is not having the tab, then we have to go with that custom object tabs section. Now, let me give that note point here. By using this feature, we can create the tab for the custom object which is not having the tab as of now. Hence, an object can have only one tab. That is object to tab we have one-to-one association. Object to tab, we have one-to-one association. Then how to create the custom object tabs, we'll see. I will give the navigation, we'll see the practical part today. The second one, web tabs. So what do you mean by these web tabs? Now let's see practically here. For example, assume that I'm having a tab bar. Assume that I'm having a tab bar. Inside my Salesforce application, I have a tab bar. So this is my tab bar here. On my tab bar, I'm having some tabs. Like as a home tab, and then accounts tab, and then contacts tab, and then opportunities tab. Opportunities tab. So these are the various tabs are available on my tab bar. So these are the various tabs are available here. Because I'm having that home tab, accounts tab, contacts tab, opportunities tab. So now the respective user interfaces are available here. Now my customer is expecting a tab. Okay, my customer is expecting one more tab over here. The customer is expecting one more tab. So now he is expecting a tab called as Gmail. He is expecting a tab with the name some Gmail. Okay, Gmail. So now, when he click on this particular tab, it has to be redirect the user to the Gmail application directly. For example, so what do you mean by Gmail? Gmail is nothing but a third-party website. It's an application. It's a web application. Okay? So Gmail is a separate application over here. Gmail is one of the separate web application which has been designed by some other people, because the Google people has implemented that. So now they're expecting over here. So now it is a web application. Now which is having some URL, like as http www.gmail.com. Now, so this is the URL over here. So now here in this case, what my customer is expecting is, when I click on this particular tab, automatically it has to redirect the user to that Gmail application directly over here. That means what? As soon as once I click on the tab, it has to redirect the user to a web application based on the website name or based on the application URL. Okay, based on the URL or based on the application website name, I would like to redirect the user to that application upon click on the tab. As of now, what happened? When I click on the accounts tab, it is providing one separate tab for me. It is providing the user interface. When I click on that contacts tab, it is providing a user interface to me. But now what I want to do, I don't want to provide the user interface. I want to redirect the user to a separate web application. For that one, as soon as once I click on this Gmail tab, it has to redirect the user to a separate web application called as a gmail.com. Like the similar way here. When coming to my customer, he is expecting one more tab over here. He is expecting one more tab. He is expecting one more tab with the name Office 365. Office 365. He is expecting one more tab with the name Office 365. So what do you mean by Office 365? I think everybody is aware of that. So Office 365 is a cloud version of that Microsoft Outlook. When you go to that organizations, most of the people are using that email tool. What is that email tool? They're using that Microsoft Outlook that is used to send some email notifications, to receive some email notifications. So that here we are having a separate website is available here. Nothing but we are having a separate tool is available. So now we have to install that Microsoft Outlook into a local system over here separately. But nowadays, most of the customers are going to be adopting the cloud implementations. That means they don't want any installations. Directly they would like to access. For that one, Microsoft people did some enhancements and they have converted that Microsoft Outlook tool into the cloud that is called as Office 365. So now Office 365 is an emailing tool from the Microsoft tool. Okay. It is an email tool from the Microsoft. It is an email tool from the Microsoft which is used to send some email notifications, which is used to receive some email notification. And it will be having a URL, https www.someoffice365.com. Okay, so this is the website name over here. So now, as soon as once you click on that, okay, when you click on this Office 365 tab, it has to redirect the user to a specific web application over here. That means what? Upon click on this tab, they would like to redirect the user to a separate web application here. In this case, if you want to redirect the user to a web application or a website based on the URL, upon click on the tab, then we have to go with that web tabs. Okay, then we can go with that web tabs. So at that time, by using this web tabs, we can redirect the user to a separate web application or a website based on the application URL. That flexibility is available to you. Okay? Now let's make a note of this one. Web tabs. By using this feature, we can redirect the user to a specific website or web application based on the URL. Based on the URL, upon click on the tab. Upon click on the tab. Like for example, we can redirect the user Office 365. That is https www.office365.com. Okay. So depends upon our requirement, depends upon the customer requirement, we can redirect the user to a specific website also. That possibility is available when coming to the Salesforce instance. Next, the third one. So Visualforce page tabs. Then what exactly the Visualforce page tabs? Now let's see practically. For example, assume that I'm having a tab bar which has been given by Salesforce by default over here. On this tab bar, I'm having so many tabs, like as home tab, campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, like that. So many tabs are there. So when I click on this campaigns tab, it is providing a user interface to me. Okay. It is providing a user interface to me, where on top of the page, we are having this enhanced list view. You know this concept. So we have the enhanced list view. And below that, we are having the recently created records section is available. Now, when you go to the leads tab, the same format. Here on the top of the page, we have enhanced list view and then recently created records. When you go to the opportunities, same format again. So now on top of the page, we are having the enhanced list view and then recently created records. When I go to my custom object also here, on the top of the page, it is having that enhanced list view and then recently created records. That means what? For each and every tab, Salesforce is providing a tab homepage. This is called as a tab homepage. So in this page, okay, upon click on this tab, this page has been getting opened for you. In this page, now on the top of the page, it is providing the enhanced list view, and the next one it is providing the recently created records section. So this is the standard format following by Salesforce. It may be any object also, the same format will be followed by Salesforce. But my customer is expecting one more requirement here. So here he asked me to add a tab. Okay, he asked me to add a tab. He's asked me to add a tab. So where, when I click on the tab, he asked me to provide a different user interface. They don't want this kind of standard format of user interface. He's expecting a different user interface. Now, let's see here. For example, my customer is expecting a tab over here. Okay, he's expecting a tab on my tab bar. He's expecting a tab on my tab bar, where he's expecting the name as search. Okay, search. So the tab name should be search. So now as soon as once I click on this tab, it has to provide a separate user interface. They don't want the standard format of user interface given by Salesforce. I don't want that. I want my own customized one. Based on my application requirement, I want a customized tab over here. Like now, the customer is expecting a tab over here. Now upon click on this tab search, it has to provide a separate user interface over here. Okay, it has to provide a separate user interface. What kind of user interface is expecting now? Let's see. He is expecting a user interface like this. Okay, he is expecting a user interface like this. This is a user interface. Now in this user interface, okay, in this user interface, on top of the user interface, okay, on top of the user interface, he would like to have a search functionality. He would like to have a search functionality over here. He would like to search for some data here. He would like to search for some records based on the input value which they have provided. Like for example, so now here I'm providing this one. Enter the search text. Enter the search text. Here they would like to provide one text box over here to enter the search text. Okay. He asked me to provide the search text information over here. And then to search for that information, they asked me to provide one button control. Like as search records. There is a button control called as search records. So now after typing some information inside this text box, what are the records they have searched, what are the records they have collected, those records they ask me to display inside a tabular format. Okay, they would like to display the records in the tabular format over here. The result of that search will be they would like to display inside the tabular format over here. So whatever the account records they have got that as a result, those records, result records has to be get visible over here. The account record ID and the name value, rating value, and the industry name, and then annual revenue, and the active status, all this information I want to make it visible in the tabular format here. Now, I'm specifying the column names inside this. So now my customer is expecting like this here. Now, the name of that account record. And the rating value. Industry. Annual revenue. Active status. These are the columns they want me to display over here inside the table. That means what here? As soon as once I click on that search tab, they ask me to provide a separate user interface. In that user interface, on top of the user interface, they want a search functionality which is used to search for some records. And at the bottom of the page, they want me to provide that enhanced list view. Okay. At the bottom of the page, they want me to provide the enhanced list view. Generally, enhanced list view will be available at the top of the page. But when coming to my customer requirement, they're asking us to design the user interface like this. So based on my customer's expectations, okay, based on my customer's expectation, we are designing this user interface over here. So enhance the list view. Okay, enhance the list view here. Now, so this is what my customer is expecting over here. So now, as soon as when he click on that search tab, it has to open this user interface here. Okay, it has to open this particular user interface. Upon click on the search tab, it has to open this user interface. When we click on that search tab, this page has to be get open. Now on that page, on the top of the page, they're expecting a search functionality where they can able to search for some information, and at the bottom we have to provide the enhanced list view. But generally, this kind of user interface will not be given by Salesforce. Salesforce is having its own standard format. That is, they're giving that on top of the page, they're providing the enhanced list view. Below that, they're providing the recently created records. But this kind of feature is not available in Salesforce by default. So what we can do, we need to create this particular user interface. Okay, we need to create this user interface based on my customer's expectations. Depends upon my customer requirement, we need to create this kind of user interfaces by our own. Then how can we design our own user interfaces? In order to design your own user interfaces, we have to go with the development. In that development, we are using the Force.com platform. As part of Force.com platform, we have two programmings are there. One is Apex programming, second one is Visualforce programming. So at that time, which programming language do we need to use to design this user interface? To design that user interface, we are going to be using what? Visualforce programming. So that what needs to be done, we have to design this Visualforce page. Nothing but we have to design this page by using this Visualforce programming, and then we have to attach this page to my tab over here. Okay, we need to attach this page to the tab. So that upon click on this tab, it will redirect the user to this page so that the user can able to see this page and he can use the search functionality and all these things. So that here, whenever we are going to be creating the tabs, Salesforce is providing a tab type called as Visualforce page tab, where upon click on this tab, it is going to be redirecting the user to a Visualforce page, which is having the customized user interfaces based on the customer expectations. Based on the customer requirement, we can able to design this kind of user interfaces also. The flexibility is available to you. So now in this kind of situation, if the customer is expecting this kind of user interface, always we have to go with the Visualforce page tabs. So it is a common question in every interview. So in the interview point of view, if anybody asks, have you designed any Visualforce page tab? Then you can say yes. Then what is the requirement? Then you can explain, this is the requirement which we got. Like when coming to my application or when coming to my project, so now my customer is expecting like this. But this kind of user interface is not given by Salesforce by default, so that we have implemented our own Visualforce page, okay, with the search functionality and with the enhanced list view, and this Visualforce page we have displayed upon click on this search tab. So this is what the use case or the requirement we got as part of our project, so that we have implemented like this. Now, so now here in this case here, so this kind of questions will raise in the interview point of view. They're not only asking what is this, what is this, what is this. Okay, they're asking that. So have you used this feature inside your project or not? If you have used, then where you have used? What is the requirement? So at that time, you should be able to explain that requirement also. Now, so in this case here, then I can explain that as part of our project, we got this kind of requirement for that we have implemented our own Visualforce page tabs. So that by using Visualforce page tab, we can redirect the user to a Visualforce page, okay, which we have designed based on the customer requirement. So upon click on the tab, we can redirect to the Visualforce page. Instead of redirecting the standard page which has been given by Salesforce, which is having the standard format we don't want, I want to provide a different functionality to the customer. For that one, we have designed our own Visualforce page here. So this is called as the Visualforce page tabs. Now, by using this feature, we can redirect the user to a specific Visualforce page. A specific Visualforce page upon click on the tab. In that Visualforce page, we need to design the required feature. We need to design the required features based on the customer requirement. Based on the customer requirement. So in this case, in order to redirect the user to a Visualforce page, upon click on the tab, we can go with the Visualforce page tabs. Next. Like the similar way, we can design our own Lightning page also. By using that Lightning framework or by using some Aura framework, we can design our own Lightning page, and that Lightning page we can redirect the user upon click on this tab. So that here, upon click on this tab, we can redirect the user to a Lightning page also, which is having some more attractive looking feel. So Lightning has been introduced by Salesforce to provide that more attractive looking feel, only for the attractive looking feel only here. The backend and Apex classes, everything will be the same, no change. But just to provide the more effective user interface, to provide rich look and feel for the user interface, they have introduced that Lightning pages. And that too, Lightning is purely providing with the SPA architecture. Single page application architecture. Okay, single page application architecture. Now, so in this case here, in order to redirect the user to a Lightning page, we are going to be using this Lightning page tabs. Now, by using this feature, we can create a tab on the tab bar. When we click on the tab, it will redirect the user to a specific Lightning page. So these are the 4 types of tabs are available when coming to a Salesforce instance. We have custom object tabs, web tabs, Visualforce page tabs, and then Lightning page tabs. So these are the 4 types of tabs are available when coming to a Salesforce instance over here. Okay, now, then in this case, how to create the tab for my custom object over here? How to create the tab for your custom object? Now let's see practically in this case here. Now let's see how can we create a tab for your custom object. So now as of now, we have created our own object that is called as position, but the position object tab is not available. Okay, the position object tab is not available. Then how can we create the tab for the position object? Now let's see practically in this case here. Then, in order to create a tab for your object, we have to use a separate navigation. Then what is the navigation? Now let's see practically here. In this case, click on the setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. And then click on create. and expand it. So what you want to create now, I want to create a tab. So that click on tabs link. Once you click on this tabs link, it is providing a separate user interface to you. There you will be having 4 sections, like as custom object tabs section, web tabs section, Visual Force page tabs section, lightning page tabs section. 4 sections will be available. Then we have to go to the respective section and then create the respective tab. Go to the custom object tabs section, because I want to create a tab for my custom object. So that go to the custom object tabs section and then click on new. Click on new button and then select the object name. Select the object name from the pick list. Select the object name from the pick list to create the tab. And then select the tab style. Select the tab style by using the lookup icon. And then click on next button. And make the tab to be visible to all profile users. By making it as default on. And then click on next button. And select the visible checkbox to make the tab to be visible for all the applications. And then click on save button. So whenever we are doing this navigation, it is going to be creating the tab. Then it will create the tab for the position object, and the tab will be visible on the tab bar. And the tab will be visible on the tab bar. So it will display the tab onto your tab bar directly over here. So now let's go with this navigation process. Then how to create our own tab for our custom object. So whenever you are creating the object, if you are not selecting the last checkbox, then tab will not be created. Then how to create the tab for my custom object? Now let's see practically over here. So now let's go to the navigation process here. Go to the setup menu on the top right corner. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Go to the build menu. Click on create. When you expand that one, as of now we have used that options, apps we have created, objects we have created. Now we need to create the tab. For that one, select the option called as tabs. I want to create a tab for my custom object over here. So that click on this tabs link. Once you click on the tabs link, it is providing that 4 sections to you. Like these are the 4 types of tabs are available in Salesforce. Custom object tabs, web tabs, Visual Force tabs, and the lightning page tab. These are the 4 types of tabs are available. So whatever the tabs are related to your custom objects, those will be available inside this section over here. So now my requirement is what I want to create the tab for my custom object right now. So how many custom objects we have created as of now? 2 objects. One is customer, second one is position. So now but only one tab is visible over here. That is only that customer's tab is visible. That means here for the customer object tab is there, for the position object tab is not available over here. So now I want to create the tab for my position object also. So that go to the custom object tabs section, click on new button. So once you click on this new button, it is providing that a user interface to you. In this user interface, we have to select the object name. So this is the pick list where exactly we need to select that object name over here. So now in this pick list, it is providing the object names over here. But it won't provide all the object names to you. It will provide only those objects which are not having the tabs. Okay, which are not having the tabs. When I expand this one, it is providing only position. Because here I have created two objects, customer and the position. Customer object is already having the tab, so it is not providing that name. Position object is not having the tab, so it is providing this. So that already told you, an object can have only one tab, not multiple. When you try to create the one more tab for the same customer object, Salesforce won't allow. There is no such options. Now, in this case, select that object for which you want to create the tab. Once you select that object name, then select the tab style, whatever you want. Remaining process is same, no change. Now expand the tab styles, select the style whatever you want over here. So now I'm going to selecting a tab style over here. So now I would like to select a tab style. Like as for example, I would like to select a tab style like as some building block. Okay, building block. Anything, whatever you want here. Now, I'm selecting this tab style over here. Go to the next button and make the tab to be get visible to all the profile users by making it as default on. By default, we'll be making it as default on. Go to the next and make the tab to be get visible for all the applications by selecting that include tab checkbox here. Now click on Save button. So now click on Save button. So once you click on Save button, automatically tab has been created over here. This is the second tab which we have created right now for my object position over here. So now here when you go to this user interface, on the tab bar by default this tab will be getting added over here. Previously this positions tab is not available, but now we got the positions tab also. So with this tab we can create some records inside my position object. So click on this positions tab. So now the tab homepage is available. Click on new button. So now specify the position records over here. I'm creating some position record like as some Java developer. This is one position record. Click on save. Now record has been created successfully. That means my table is available, user interface is available, business logic is also available over here. For this Java developer position, I'm having some job description as an attachment. Let's go to that notes and attachments section over here. Here we can able to add an attachment also by using this attach file. So click on that attach file and then use the choose file button in order to select the file which you would like to attach. So now here I'm going to selecting any one of the file over here. So now I'm selecting one Word document. Click on attach file button. Now click on done button. Now the file has been added as an attachment over here. When you observe this one, now we have attached that attachment also. Here there is a file which is a Word document I have attached. Like if you want to add one more attachment, then you can attach that another attachment also. Now go to that PDF file I would like to select now. Click on attach file. Click on done. So now two files I have added as an attachment here. Like that here, once the record has been getting created, then we can able to add the attachments also. It may be a PDF file, it may be a Word document, it may be a notepad, whatever you want, we can able to attach over here. That flexibility is available to you. So now here in this case, so we are able to create the tab for my custom object, and then by using that tab, we can able to manage the records. Suppose if you want to create one more record, so click on new button again, create one more record over here. Like as I would like to specify the Salesforce developer. We are having some job, like as some Salesforce developers. Click on save and new. I want to create one more. Because we need some tester positions over here. We need some test engineer. Test engineer, manual. That means manual test engineer we want here. Now click on save. Like that here we have created the records also. So now 3 records we have created right now. We can see all the 3 records information inside this. So these are the 3 records which we have created. Like that here, we can able to create the objects also, and then we can create the tab for that object also, depends upon your requirement. And then, so once the tab is available, then we can able to manage the records also inside this object. So this is how we are creating the applications, objects, and the tabs. Next. So in the tomorrow's session, we are going to be discussing about a feature called as fields. Because whenever I'm creating an object in Salesforce, by default in every object Salesforce is providing 5 fields, like as ID field, name field, owner field, created by, last modified by. But these 5 fields are not sufficient to store my application related data. To store my customer data, these 5 fields are not sufficient. I want some more. Then how can we add our own fields? We'll see practically by using the concept called as fields concept. So what exactly a field? What it represents? How many types of fields are available in Salesforce? And how many fields we can create per an object or per a table? And then what are the data types are available upon creating the field? We'll see practically, then we'll see how to create that fields inside that. Okay. Now, so from tomorrow onwards, we are going to be discussing about that concept of fields and their data types and everything. Okay, and then we'll move forward to one more feature called as page layout customization. So what exactly the page layout customization? How to customize the page layouts, and then how many modes will be there for each and every page layout? What exactly each mode represents, and then what we can customize through page layout, what we can't customize through page layout, we'll see practically one by one. Okay. So do the practice on this one. So tomorrow we'll see the concept of fields. What exactly a field, and then how to create the fields, we'll see practically in tomorrow's session.